The moment you realize you may have been casually followed by a headless witch. Do these things happen to anybody else, or is it just me? Hi guys, for today's video, I'm going to be telling you about one of my experiences I had, but at this time we were not ghost hunting on this day. This was just one of my nightly walks. I used to take a walk about every night when I lived at this certain place because it was just a good walking area. Even though the road was really creepy at night, I loved to just walk the vicinity of the road and then turn back and walk back home, just for exercise purposes and to get out and get some fresh air. That was just something I did on a regular basis, and mostly of a night. I like to walk during the nighttime. But this night we were going to actually visit a friend. So I had another friend along with me, and we were walking this road to go to another friend's house, which was Midget Erin's house. I've spoken about her before on my channel, but she lived at the very top of the hill, and you had to actually pass through a cemetery to get to her driveway. So you had to just walk the road that I normally walked, and then you walked just a little bit further, made a right into the road of the cemetery, and you continued that road and then made another slight right to go to Midge's driveway. You could either proceed on to the cemetery road and make a circle around the cemetery, or you could make that slight right and go up to Midge's house. So this particular night, like I said, we wasn't ghost hunting. We wasn't doing anything pertaining to ghosts. We were just going to walk and check on Midgie to make sure she was okay because she wasn't feeling well. So we get into the cemetery area, and I wasn't paying much attention to the surroundings. I was used to cemeteries and things like that, so they didn't really frighten me. But all of a sudden I noticed that there wasn't just two shadows with us, there were three. So I thought that somehow something was producing two of our shadows or something like that. I was trying to make logic to it, and I kind of looked back to full-on look at the shadow, and I noticed that the third shadow proceeded to raise its arms, and neither of us did. So that's when I realized that this shadow was nothing to do with either me or the friend that I was with. So I was really creeped out, and I got a really creepy feeling. So I will say we did walk a little bit faster to Midge's house, but it was straight up a hill. It didn't last very long. The shadow disappeared maybe after 3 more steps after it raised its arms or whatever it did. But it just really creeped me out, and when I went back to tell people about it, a lot of people was telling me that that cemetery was one of the most haunted cemeteries in our area, even though we haven't investigated it much. We have since then, but at the time we hadn't investigated that particular area very much, and we're not ones to go into cemeteries very often. We're usually at something a little more intense than just the regular cemeteries around here, because a lot of them we've not had much activity at. But we were just talking to people about what had happened there, and supposedly there is a shadow of a witch that lingers at the area, but she has no head when you actually see the full-blown apparition of her, which I couldn't tell that with the shadow. I couldn't tell if she had a head or not, just the way the shadows are produced. But they say that a lot of people see the full apparition of the headless woman in the cemetery, and it tends to follow people, and it's even touched people and pulled their hair and things of that nature, which did not happen to me that night, but I did see a third shadow, which really ties in with what a lot of other reports had said. But I do know that in the cemetery, it was just strange that they brought up the witch, because there's also a monument there that's called the Witch's Rock. It's just a really tall, sharp pointed rock, which is going to be a whole separate video later on showing you guys this location and talking more about the Witch's Rock and her story. But I was just wondering if it's the same witch. I've never had confirmation whether it's the same witch that's supposed to just hang out there and haunt the area, or if maybe there was two of them, because I know she had a sister. I don't know if they're the same witch. The one that's buried there is the one that's said to be beheaded and linger the cemetery and just kind of mess with people. But we did see that third shadow that night, and I thought I would share that with you guys because it's one of my more memorable stories, because it was something that really took my breath when I first noticed it. But anyway, we survived to tell you about it, and that's another one of my stories. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not already. I post a new video every Wednesday and Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love each and every one of you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.